I wasn't going to do that, and I wish I hadn't. I went out on my electric bike and I powered it with a generator. I wish I'd powered it with batteries because that generator is rubbish. It was all going fine, and my light went out, the battery went flat, and the light on the cam with the electric bike kit wouldn't come on. So I had no front light. So I thought I better, and it doesn't get light until about 5 o'clock in the morning. So I thought I'd better turn around and come back. And it was all going fine, but then the generator started playing up. It overheats. It's two-stroke, and well, to put it in simple terms, for every revolution of the engine on that, there's a fire inside the engine. On a four-stroke, for every two revolutions of the engine, the shaft on the engine, there's a fire. So it doesn't get as hot, and it doesn't use as much petrol, and it doesn't vibrate as much. But the voltage stroke current regulator started overheating, and that shuts the generator down, and then switches it back on and switches it down. So your bike's going like that, and I was frightened it was going to burn the circuit board out in the motor, and because I could hear the motor clonking, and I was having trouble getting up hills, and then it stalled altogether. So I just pedalled the bike dead for so far until I could get to a safe. Well, I didn't get to a safe place. I just thought I'll have a go at starting it again, and it's fit fired up. And I adjusted the voltage current regulator. Well, it says it's a voltage current regulator. No, it isn't. It just adjusts the idle speed. I adjusted it up a bit, but it didn't make any difference. It started. It was cutting out and cutting, starting again and cutting out. It was going. Then it just stopped altogether. The engine was running, but there was no power coming out of the generator. So I was outside somebody's house, so I switched it off and pushed the bike home. And I was at the bottom of a long hill. It isn't really steep, but it took me ages to push it up there. So I've had to push it home, and it started chucking it down, pouring down with rain. I'm not happy. Now, I'm not impressed with that generator. It was £109 and it's junk. The petrol in it, I couldn't see how much petrol was in it. So I took the cap off and stuck my finger in, and the bloody petrol was boiling because it's right above the engine, and all the heat comes off the engine and heats the petrol. That's not bloody good. So I don't know. The one I had before in Thirst, that wasn't a bad one. It was 550 quid. That was only 109 and it's junk. It wasn't so bad, but I had trouble with the voltage regulator on that. Well, it wasn't the voltage regulator, it was the hills I was going up. They were so steep. And when I stopped for a rest, that's the thing. You had to run with the bike and pull a 25 kilo generator uphill to get it to start generating electricity. And then you could walk at a fast pace and by the side of the bike and get it up the hill with a generator. Because if not, you had to pull the generator, the 25 kilo generator up a hill, and there were one in three. But it wasn't a bad generator, wasn't that? I went from Thirsk to York and then to Scarborough and back, and I didn't have any problems with it. I kept getting flats on the trailer. It wasn't a very good trailer. But I've lost the cover off that trailer. This one blew away in the wind. I just had to get a piece of polythene and fasten it on with bungee straps. But I wish I powered it with the batteries because it would have gone a lot further and it would have been quieter. But my lights went out and I couldn't see to connect the um, power lead to the batteries, and I just gave up with it and just pushed it. But that was the thing. I had no front light and I couldn't see where I was going. And it was a bit of a nightmare. Yeah. Well, that generator. If you took the petrol tank off and mounted it somewhere and just ran a fuel line to the motor, as long as it was above the motor, the petrol would run into it, so that it wouldn't overheat. And if I found the voltage regulator and took it out and extended the cables and put it somewhere where it was cool, that might solve the problem. But I don't know where the voltage regulator is on it. If I could find it, I could take it out, put some longer cables to it, and put it in a cool place. Because I'm sure it's just overheating. Because it's all compact, and with a two-stroke engine, there's a lot of heat comes off it. It isn't really loud now. I think it's run in, but it's only been doing 30 miles per gallon. That's pretty crap for an electric bike. I mean, the four-stroke one was doing 80 miles per gallon.